Have you ever wondered why goal setting for your business or your leadership team is so important? Well, I'll tell you why. Goals keep us alive, and it keeps us with the continuation of dreaming, but we must be careful to not dream too much in spite of the multiple desires that we have. Let me share what I mean. It's important to dream. It's important to have aspirations and goals, but goals are simply dreams if they are not divided into a plan. Yes, a plan is very important for you to identify in order to make this goal come true. Because again, if you never work towards that dream, then it's going to continue to just be a dream. So we've got to step up and we've got to do some things differently, put one foot in front of the other in order to accomplish everything that we are designed to accomplish. It's so much inside of us as small business owners and leaders. It's so much in us that we want to share and we want to get out into the world, not only for benefiting the world, which is very important, but also to benefit ourselves, to be proud and glad that we are the person that is moving forward in life, because that's important. Sometimes we get into this complacency, this mundane, everyday, TikTok robotic structure, which zaps our energy, not only our energy, but it zaps our soul to where what we have in us becomes dormant. We no longer want to do that. So let's step up and let's learn how to set goals for ourselves. So the purpose of our conversation today is to teach you how to develop literal goals that will help you to put one step in front of the others. Yeah, we've all come into knowledge and understanding how goals work, but do we really know how to set the goals in a measurable way that would assist us to get to where we're going? We're always needing to work on getting to the next level, not just staying where we are. Staying where we are can become complacent again. It can become boring. Next thing you know, years have passed by and we're just doing the same old. And that actually happened to me. So let's talk about this. So this activity is to teach you how to develop a plan of action for reaching your desired goals. Now, keep in mind that a goal is a final destination, but the power therein is really the journey, because that's where we learn our strength. That's where we learn more about us than we ever thought, such as how to be resilient, how to hold on, how to make things work, and the list goes on and on. And so if someone was traveling from Los Angeles to Miami, then reaching Miami would be their final goal. But traveling from Los Angeles to Miami is a goal that requires planning and action. And so we're going to look at this from a perspective, a two-tier perspective in developing how to set our goals for us personally, our business, as well as our leadership team and our families. Because remember, we are as powerful as we are whole as individuals. And that's one thing that I want to stress in these podcasts, teaching you not necessarily how to build a business or how to scale your business, but there will be some strategies and tips and conversations about that. But teaching you how to be resilient to emotional impacts that happen in your day that causes you to lose energy and leads to poor productivity, poor outcomes, and poor revenue. And gosh, have I been there. Ooh. So let's learn how to set our goals efficiently. Let's not only travel to Miami, but let's do it in a way that we know what we are doing. It sits well, we are flowing, we are scaling, we are being productive about it. So you'll need to understand a couple of things here. Now, we know a goal is a statement. So basically, if you want to travel the world, then your goal would be, I want to travel the world. We don't have to be complex about that, but we do want it to be very specific. We don't want it to be something general, or something that we have to go back and ask ourselves, what do we mean by that? For an example, I want to buy a car sooner or later. Well, okay, but come on, let's be more specific about that. And so I'm going to kind of help you to identify those specifics through measurable terms. So think about your goal. We'll start with one to help you through this activity, but think about your biggest goal, the goal that's really going to navigate you to the place that you really desire to be. Put that in your mind now. And then we're going to think about what is needed to be done, to be said, to be reduced, to get rid of, etc., which are actionable steps in which we're going to develop. Now, since we understand what a goal is, it's just something that you desire, you want, and you're serious about obtaining it. You're going to put that in a sentence. Next, we're going to be talking about the actionable steps, which are called objectives. And objectives are small, itty bitty steps that you can take that eventually will get you to the fruition of your goal. So if you wanted to buy a house, then your goal would, I will buy a house. Okay, your first actionable objective would be, I will save X amount of dollars, X amount of paychecks for the next 6 months. So now, if you notice, there were a lot of measurable things within that objective. So let's break that down. The first measurement is your frequency, how often you will do something to get to that particular action step, or to get through the actionable step. So in the example, I will save $500 a month for the next 6 months. So the 6 months represent the duration. How long will I save money in order to accomplish my goal of obtaining my house? And so you may say, well, I'm going to need more steps than that before I can get to the house. Very understood. And that's why you can have 3 objectives to one goal. So we're making SMART goals. Okay. So they're specific, they're measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. So that's the concept of the objective, the action taking steps that will help you with the measurable numbers. Because if you know that you are saving $500 every single month for 6 months, then you can expect a certain amount of money when you calculate that, right? Well, what if it wasn't measurable? What if you say, I'm going to save some money every paycheck, okay, for the next 6 months? Well, you don't know what the expectation is in terms of its measurement if you leave a goal that, or an objective rather, that gapped or that spaced out. So you always want to put a minimal, your frequency, how long, or rather, how many times, that's your frequency, how many times, versus your duration, throughout what time span. So I hope that makes sense to you. Let me go in and provide you an additional example. I will lose 12 pounds a month is your goal. Okay, your first objective or action plan may consist of, I will learn how to lose weight for the next 2 months in order to lose 12 pounds a month. Okay, I know I changed the system or the sentence up a little bit, just added in order to, which means what am I trying to do in connection to the first part of the sentence. But keep in mind that the frequency and the duration is there. So as long as you have those components, you're fine. I just specified it a little bit more. So my next objective with this particular one goal could be, I will save 10% of my paycheck every 2 weeks in order to go to the grocery store to purchase healthy meals for the next 2 months. Okay, objective 3. Remember, we can have 3 objectives, no more. It's not advisable to have more than 3 actionable steps because it could be discouraging, it could be too overwhelming, and the list goes on and on. So, with that being stated, the next could be, what if a person didn't know how to cook and they need to lose weight? So that means their habit of going out to eat 3 meals every single day has to be cut out. So maybe I will meal prep every Sunday for 2 hours for the next 2 months. I'm hoping that makes sense to you, because we really need to get clear with our goals. You know, we're always trying to be specific with our business goals. What about our personal goals as well? Why do we discount that? Our personal goals are very important, because if we are not gaining reward from each angle of the spectrum for our life, then how motivated will we be equally in every aspect? So remember, the healthier, the happier you are personally, the more efficient you are in your business and leadership. All right, so moving forward, now you understand what a goal is, and now you understand what an objective is. So get that goal back into your mind that you have, and see if you can identify your goal statement. Start it off with I will, to make it easier, and then identify your 3 action steps or objectives, and you're going to write them down separately. You're not going to combine the 3 objectives together. So for an example, you'll write goal, colon, and write out your goal sentence. You're going to come down the page, and then you're going to say objective 1, colon, and start writing that one objective. Come down the page further, objective 2, colon, and that objective. And then objective 3, colon, and that objective. And you want to make sure that potentially the 3 objectives that you write can get you to the point of completing that goal over time. If you find that you need more than 3 objectives, I have learned with helping small business owners and leaders to develop their goals, I've learned that they try to add another goal to the present goal, which causes it to be confusing. So if you know you have more than 3 steps, and you feel like you have to have more to complete that goal, then perhaps you're really looking at 2 separate goals if you look at it real close. And I can give all time examples, but I don't want to confuse you on that. Just understand, if you do, then if you have more than 3 objectives, then look at it again and see if there are 2 separate goals, 2 separate things that you want to accomplish. Now, as you are going through the brainstorming of your particular goal and what you want out of your life, keep in mind that these action steps, again, they help you to be accountable to your particular goals by providing you measurable steps. So if you have to put multiple measurable steps into your objectives, I would encourage you to do it, because you want to make this realistic. You want to make this something that you can do. You want to make it attainable. So maybe you have to say one of your objectives, I will plug in a habit into my calendar to remind me every single day at a certain time to do something that's according to my action plan. So in other words, you got to do what you have to do. And with that being stated, I use a app that I utilize in connection with my particular goals. And I have done just that. This app reminds me of my habits that I need to change and or incorporate in order to make my goals more realistic. So I'm hoping that makes sense to you. Taking a look at some information to make sure I at least covered the basic. So now I want you to try it on your own. I want you to write your own goal statement. And for each of the goals, I want you to write how you can accomplish this. Remember, it's through those frequencies and durations, and you want to make it make sense. You want to, this is a tip, you want to identify the the objective so fine that if you go back to it, then it's not confusing, that you'll know exactly what you're doing. Here is how I relay it to individuals. Write the sentence just like you would for a 5-year-old. And because if you write it that simply, that plainly, then you'll have no reasons to object or be confused over what you wrote if you reflect back on it in a week's time. So I'm hoping that this helps you to understand that you personally, as an individual, have to be as healthy in order to be the best businessman, businesswoman, leader that you can be. So write your goal statement for each of the goals you would like to accomplish, whether they are short term and long term. So don't hinder yourself by saying, well, what should I do with long? What should I do with short? Go ahead and connect the dots and just add them individually. If you have a long-term goal, then say that through the objectives. You have a short-term goal, then say that through the objectives. So hoping that this makes sense and understanding the formula, the what plus the frequency plus the how and the duration equals an objection statement. Any questions, any thoughts, send it through your podcast software, and I'll get to it and address it through another podcast. Make it a great day. Remember, be prosperous, productive, and take care of your mental health.